Ah, Tyranny. No offense to Neverwinter Nights. I enjoy it a lot. It's a great game. But Tyranny is the one that I'm looking forward to playing whenever I stream right now. It has been absolute fun to play. And we'll find out what the hell happens this week. We, last time, defeated the Vendrian Guard. Took over the Ascension's, whatever it's called. Time to Bastard. That's right. And we ascended to the top of this freaking tower, spire, and we got some crazy powers from it. We also beat this lady, Ebb, Sharon Gless, our suburban mom friend. Who I'll say again, looks way cooler in-game. That's like a really cool punk-style haircut. But then in her profile picture, she's got her updo. It's weird. Oh, apparently we have something to speak with Barrick about. He says, Fatebinder, if you have a moment. Barrick stands at attention, his rigid bearing making of him an unmoving statue. Dave, hello and welcome. How are you? Thanks for checking in. Appreciate it. Barrick says, there have been a number of times since I came to your service in which I have not agreed fully with your choices. You don't say. That said, never have I truly questioned your judgment. I hope this pattern holds after you hear the request I now make of you. What's on your mind? I hope that perhaps the adjudicator would hear my case. What are you talking about? I have been encased in this. He wraps a gauntlet against the shards of corroded iron and bronze that sweep across his chest. Did you throw the woman off the tower? You're 1 week late, man. I did it last week. Yep, I did. I appreciated that once you basically, I could be wrong, but I believe once you threatened to throw her off the tower, that was it. Like, there were other prompts where I had to hit, continue, but there was no other, are you sure you want to do this? You can back off if you want. It was just like, nah, you're going to throw this lady off the tower. There's no two ways around it. That was fun. I mean, it's evil. It's fucking evil, but that's what's fun about this game. I did. It's funny that that's your first question. Now that you've gotten the question answered, I assume you may go. Kidding. But yeah, total scumbaggery. I know, it is evil. She was a really tough fight, though. We had to redo that fight. Yeah, I know. That's I really enjoy. I think the point in the game where I committed to being an evil bastard was, I think when you first get to the disfavored camp, there's a merchant or somebody, and there's guards talking to him, and they're like, "Hey, you don't have a license to whatever trade here," and he's kind of got this weaselly excuse. He's like, "Oh, well, I'll take care of it," and your options are let him go, arrest him, kill him, and it's just kill him. And that's when I was like, "Oh yeah, we're doing it now. We're being evil." Okay, anyway, Barrick's bummed out about his stupid armor. Apparently he wants to talk to Tunon about it. I've been encased in this shell since Kairos' Edict of Storms made a grave of old Stalwart. It occurred in service to the Overlord, and I would ask that the Overlord free me of its burden. Aren't you more useful to the Overlord in your armor? Hey, that's kind of cruel. He's still a human being. He's still a man, after all. Tunon can't order Kairos to take your armor off. I will happily make your case to the Archon. We don't have time for this. Tunon cannot order Kairos to take your armor off. How about that? Oh, okay. I have several daydreams that would take issue with your statement. What? That's an insane thing to say under any circumstances. I'm trying to imagine a scenario where you could say to someone, I have several daydreams that would take issue with your statement, and them not think that you are a completely insane person. What? Unless you're a super genius whose daydreams predict laws of nature. If you're freaking Isaac Newton or something, and you just dream up your theory of gravity because you're bored one day, yeah, sure. Maybe you have daydreams that are worth listening to. Have you been saying that to people, Panda? Kira, what the hell, man? I have several daydreams that would take issue with your statement. I'm going to throw her off the tower. What the hell? Barrack says... Barrack's like, I'm just going to ignore that. I wasn't going to ask for the Overlord to do it personally. His metal plates grind together as he shifts. The Forge-bound Guild swore its services to the Adjudicator. If any hope of my freedom from this carapace exists, it lies with them. Forge-bound. I gotta remember who the Forge-bound are. Mage Smiths, sworn to Kairos' service. Overseen by Tunon and his court of Fatebinders. Okay. So I have some power here. Sure, we can make your case. Let's try it. The daydreams thing? I don't know. I don't know. She sounds like, she sounds like a mental patient who people are just humoring, you know? I have had several daydreams that conflict with that statement. Okay, the chair's over here, dear. Have a seat. Medicine's coming shortly. I don't know. I don't know what it means. Who knows, Tam? You could be right. It's an insane thing to say. Barrack says, "Thank you, Fatebinder." His salute rings like a poorly cast bell. Bong, wong, wong, wong. I eagerly await the Archon's judgment. Okay. They going to be companion quests for everybody? Petition Tunon on Barrack's behalf. Do I send a message to do that? No, apparently not. Oh, hello. Weight of Aegis. Petition Tunon the Adjudicator to have his armor removed. Speak with Tunon at his court in the... Oh, I'm going to go see Tunon. All right, I'm going to go see the boss. The boss man. He needs the info. Power is over 400. Okay. I think we're done up here. I'm pretty sure that I did not reset the party formation. I think Ebb naturally took... how did I already forget his name? Lantry's place. Which is nice. I didn't have to reset it myself. Okay. Yeah, that's Lantry right there, right? Yeah. Okay, you hang out on top of this crazy tower where there's no food, water, or bathroom. I imagine it's crazy windy up here. Hell, I don't know why anybody would want to hang out up there, but okay. Leaving him to it. Are the spires a... No, maybe not. I was going to say, are the spires a fast travel? He'll be fine. Just throw some meat up there every third day. Haul it up in a bucket, and then he'll haul down the feces, and everything will be fine. Give him a book. Well, I don't know that I want to travel that far yet. I thought maybe there'd be something to do down here, because we haven't talked to Graven Ash. Do we need to? Maybe we don't even need to. Journal. Vision of the spires across the tiers. Could feel the connection between them and the spire. Gather more information. Find a way to the Lethian's Crossing Spire. Travel there and find a way to gain access. Voice of Kairos. Travel to Tunon's court. Okay. Apparently there's no reason to stick around in Vendrian's well then. Fine. Whoops. Wait. Doesn't respond. Okay. Clicked the wrong thing there. Trying to do this. Yeah, let's get the hell out of Dodge. Do I want to get the hell out of Dodge? Let's check it out. Let's just check it out. I don't know if we missed anything down here, or maybe there's a conversation we need to have with somebody that just isn't mentioned in the journal. Or perhaps not. Interested to find out what these symbols mean, though. Oh, we didn't get to check any of this out, because after the fight, we instantly got teleported up top, I believe. All that remains in the plates and the goblets are molded bits of bread, blah, blah, blah. You guys can't see this because I'm blocking it. And dingy water. A decent meal hasn't been had in this room for a long time. A long time. The intricacies of this architecture suggest a master of craftsmanship that is far God damn it. Far beyond what one would expect from a normal tiersman. Was that a racist thing? What was that? The stone throne is caked with a solid layer of dust. No one has sat upon it for quite some time. Actually, here, you know what? The Citadel? Where am I? Oh, I'm way over there on the edge. Alright, yeah, there's spots over here we haven't explored yet. I'm willing to bet there's almost nothing here. Let's check it anyway. Yeah, I know this might be a little bit tedious. But that's my middle name. The T in TLC stands for tedious. Tedious, loathsome. Actually, loathsome shouldn't stand for loathsome because that's what it used to stand for. Tedious, luckless, cromulent. I don't know. It's perfectly cromulent. Pem, tedious, luckless, cromulent. You know something kind of funny? I was watching one of Effing's streams one night, and when I, checked in the chat and said, gamer rule number 1, check everything. I know, right? When I checked in the chat and said hi, he's like, "Oh, hi, Pem," which he knows me as Pem, but of course my Twitch name is PemTLC. So he's like, "Hey, what's the TLC stand for?" And he said that it should stand for Thick Long Castle. He just made it up on the spot, which I kind of like in a horrible way. Like, I would never use it, but it's kind of funny. Oh, hello. This damage dates back to Kairos' initial conquest of the tiers, that it is one of the few blemishes remaining. I wish they gave me like 3 more seconds. It is testament to the Vendrian Guard's reconstruction efforts. The game paused. Oh, because I detected a thing. Right. Greater healing potion. Hey. Don't mind if I do. Oh, reached the max number of camping supplies. Well, I'm glad I came back and checked all this crap. Kind of surprised that nobody else is down here. Iron Marshal Aranyos and all them. Hey, wait. Hang on a second. How do I get up there? I must have to go through... I don't want to go through all of this again. Why is this not mapped again? What the hell's going on? And there's new stuff. Look, okay, fine. Just take all, and I won't take those other things because I can't. The barricades are down. I noticed that too. What the hell? Right? Because, not this room. But that room was... No, this room was barricaded. Bloodstains litter the training grounds. Vendrian Guard trainees spar in this area, perfecting their martial craft. Well, presumably, Graven Ash came in and cleaned up, I guess. But left this cool stuff for me?
I am out of practice, but I'll try.
You did that? No way. Research. Dagger plans. These partial plans describe the process for crafting a powerful weapon, but more research is needed to fill in the gaps in the plan. This research can be made with a Spire library upgrade and the proper materials. I'll take your word for it, game. These small barracks are now nowhere near large enough to keep the Vendrian Guard comfortable and well rested. Sleeping occurs in short shifts. Damn it. Even when I read fast, it's not enough. With soldiers rotating in and out of beds. What do they call that? Hot bunking? Which is not nearly as sexy as it sounds. If you like walked up to a member of the opposite sex or whoever it is you're attracted to and said, "Hey, do you want a hot bunk with me?" They'd be like, "Ooh." And then they'd be like, "Okay, when?" You're like, "Well, you go to sleep first, and then when you wake up, I'll go to sleep." Oh, okay. That's not as fun as what I was thinking you meant. Oh, hello. Rocksteady, welcome back. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. Must be very late where you are. Yeah, take all. What the hell? We'll just outfit here before we go visit Tunon. Okay, so wait. I still don't know how to get up to that upper area. I assumed coming in here and being able to go out of a door. Maybe it's back here in the main room? Main chamber? No, there's just one way out. It's going to go back to that room. I suppose there doesn't have to be a way up there, but it sure looked like it was traversable, and it sure looked... What's this? Hang on a second. What's this? Hang on. What is this? Oh, stuff. I missed it before. Plans. Locked Iron Gauntlet. This old book is fragile and hard to read, but there are legible plans in it for locked iron gauntlets. This item can be created with access. Yeah. Okay. Locked iron gauntlets can be created with access to a Spire Forge upgrade and proper materials. To the Forge and the Library upgrade. Animated, huh? I take it that's a good thing? Central spire stretches into the clouds, towering at a height that is difficult to comprehend. From here it appears almost completely unassailable. Alright, maybe I can't get up here, but I swear when I was over here... Maybe not. I thought that there was an item up here. Like this, only it was up there, but I guess not. Okay, sorry, I'm wasting everyone's time. Not doing what we should be doing. Alright, Barrick, move that tin can. Wait. What's that? Oh, that's... I think I left camping gear there. That kind of night, huh? Could be. I don't know, Walter. It's strange. I'm thrown off a bit. Okay, let's teleport to the top. Use the... Oh, I didn't even need to do that. I could have just gone to the world map from there, probably, huh? Hi, Lantry. We're leaving. He's like, well, glad to have some company again. Oh. You're just going. What do you guys think we should do first? Should we do the Sunset Spire first? Presume that's in Lethian's Well? Lethian's whatever it's called? Crossing? Or... Oh, cool. Should we go straight to the Bastard City? Just checking out the artwork on the corners here. Tunon. Graven Ash? Graven Ash. I'm going to say... I think we need to report to the boss first. That's what I'm going to say. Bastard City it is. Oh, alright. Straight to the court. Hey, this is nice. It will take you 2 days, 7 hours, and 30 minutes to complete your journey from Mountain Spire, Vendrian's Well, to Tunon's Court. Encounter in Vendrian's Well. Clouds hang low over the tiers, disgorging a deluge of rain. Thunder shaking your bones as lightning arcs across the sky. You press on with your journey with the awareness that weather like this often complicates travel. Sure. This time, however, responsibility for the complication lies entirely with humans. The road crosses a river ahead, and someone, likely one of the tier's many warring factions, has sabotaged the crossing. The center of the bridge is entirely missing. Peering at the churning water, your disfavored companion rubs the back of his head. I'd suggest that I walk along the bottom were it not for the damnable need to breathe, Barrick says. Apologies, Fatebinder. My presence here may hinder your options. Attempt lore, repair the bridge. Attempt athletics, push a boulder into the bridge gap. Or find another route. Attempt to repair the bridge? 19 lore skill experience. At the foot of the bridge, you find a set of discarded tools and planks. They don't seem to belong to the saboteurs. Perhaps the locals had set out to repair the bridge before the storm came. Deciding you won't have time to wait out the weather, you take up a plank, hammer, and nails and get to work. It doesn't take too long for you to make a workable crossing. It won't hold up a cart, but it's enough to let you continue your journey. Focused. +5 precision. Reputation changes, none. Rings added, none. Okay. Items added, none. Sounds like it all went just fine. Playing long? I started streaming at 7, well, about 2 hours ago. And we streamed Neverwinter Nights for 90 minutes, and now we're playing Tyranny. We've been playing for about 25 minutes, 22 minutes, something like that. And we'll play for a little over an hour. Yet to go. Okay. We're here to meet the boss. Hello. You must be honored to have the Adjudicator's confidence. I've never seen Tunon touch the ground. I wonder where he sleeps, if he sleeps. Most Archons have followers, but not Bleden Mock. I don't know who that is. Lady Lucretius. This well-dressed older woman stands apart from the milling crowds of nobles. She stares off into the distance, oblivious to your approach, until you're right in front of her. Oh, greetings, she offers a reserved smile. Anda Lucretius, formerly of Thistleholm. You have the look of someone who belongs here. A Fatebinder, no doubt, she nods. She's saying this to me in mid-stride. Do you need something from me? What are the nobles doing here? How's the bastard city fared? What brings a noble like yourself here? Tell me of yourself. What's Thistleholm? A great sigh deflates her. It was my family's ancestral hall. The oldest stones dated back to the years when the bastard city was not but a dozen roofs and wagons clustering for warmth. She's really downcast. Look at that posture. Compared to the houses of the great lords, it was nothing special. Age had softened the wood, and its queer placement in the warehouse district set it apart from the finer grounds where lords and ladies strolled for amusement. It was a mess, but our mess all the same. I would invite you over for tea, something stronger even, but it would only disappoint. You'll find naught there but a gaping hole. My God, what happened? Collateral damage happened. And the Adjudicator... Oh, she's facepalming. When the Adjudicator cast his judgment on the bastard city, he destroyed the districts of the corrupt merchant kings, their manors, their counting houses, and yes, their warehouses. Aged, dignified Thistleholm collapsed as a massive sinkhole opened under her foundation. The bastard city's laws may not have been perfect by Kairos' standards, but my family followed them with respect, and never took a copper ring more than we deserved. I can't help but feel that my estate was not the criminal Tunon had in mind during his sentencing. What are you going to do next? That's the question, isn't it? I appealed to the Adjudicator, thinking he would see reason. After considering my case for all of 8 seconds, he awarded me a belt of rings and a plot of land on the outskirts of the city. Tunon told me to build anew and start farming. Farming? Can you believe that? She shakes her head. Oh, have a good night, Rocksteady. Thanks for stopping by. It's not even that I'm so opposed to labor, but we're in a war. I can't have the Scarlet Chorus breathing down my neck, raiding my crops, and Kairos knows what else. Tunon's word is Kairos' law. Serve the masses, not the individual. Stop whining and take your rings. The Scarlet Chorus, I don't have a problem with necessarily. It's, what's his nuts? Voices that I hate. Stop whining and take your rings. Justice is done. Wasn't very diplomatic, was it? The version of justice that suits you, anyway. She draws herself up. Good day. Be like, Lady Lucretius, I didn't mean it. I said good day! Why would that get me wrath with Tunon? I would think that that would get me, like, whatever the loyal option is. It's a fancy looking place. Fatebinder Kaleo. Fatebinder Rogalis. Fatebinder Nunaval. Blood Mulch. Oof. Mocking Blaze. Bitter Quip. Oh, Bitter Quip's here. Albatronus. Aurora. Aurora we've met before. Sevius we've met before. I don't remember Albatronus. We'll get up there in a second to find out what they're chatting about. Ah, it's the boss. Can't get under there. Alright, fine. That'd probably be a little rude of me if I did. I like this room, though. This is cool. Like all good villain capitals, it's got railingless pits open to nothing. Presumably that fall forever. Well, there's nothing else to do here. Let's go find out what the hell's going on. Should we talk to a court officer first, maybe? Fatebinder, welcome back to Tunon's court. These guys are all nobles too, right? Just want to make sure there's nobody else named here that I should be speaking to. Alright, Ebb. You're about to learn some weird shit.
You
Bring up
call
a family.
yourselves
Yep.
officers of Kairos' army.
BAM!
But your conduct falls short of my expectations. The court finds your accounts of Vendrian's well lacking, rife with misdirection and fallacy, fouled with baseless accusation.
So Tunon's not having it from the disfavored or the sacred chorus. Is there a community pool of slats? Actually, there are 3. Great place to raise your kids. Yep. Like, just baseball, mom, and apple pie. Bastard City. Alright, so he's pissed off at the 2 armies because they fucked up, and he's like, I don't trust your accounts, and your conduct falls short of my expectations. The shadow beneath Tunon's cloak darken. Shadows beneath Tunon's cloak darken and flare around him. Murmurs of unease erupt in the court. Let's just listen for now. Albatronus says, Your Honor, I have relayed the events as I experienced them. You can well imagine why my version conflicts with his. She makes a dismissive gesture to the Scarlet Chorus representative. On my honor, and on that, I like that Tunon introduced himself with a BAM! A point. It's great. That's authority right there. On my honor, and on that of the great general, I would sooner snap my sword than perjure myself before you, Archon. What I'm learning about myself as I play this game is not only would I be open to fascism if it suddenly became a thing, I would apparently absolutely fall in love with it if the leader just pointed every now and then in an authoritative way. I'd be like, oh, look at that pointing. My God, I'd follow this man to hell and back. Fuck fascists, though. On my honor, oh yeah, I read that. Snap my sword, then perjure myself before you, Archon. Blood Mulch, who probably lots of fun at parties, says, Oh, so you imply that falsehood comes easier to my lips than yours? You're a fool if you believe the Archon of Justice won't see through your lies because the disfavored think themselves better than an honest gang.
Silence.
Yeah, no points last week, I know.
The contradictions in your statements will be examined, and falsities
Pointing again! Wow, I like this guy.
You have perjured yourselves. Blood and mark will see to your fate.
Imaginary accordion, I know. It's the standard now. Blood and Mark. Blood and Mark is Kairos' knife in the shadows, the unseen drop of poison that enforces the Overlord's will. He reports to Tunon the Adjudicator, serving in his capacity as the final word to those who hold Kairos' law in contempt. If you know the origin of the Archon of Shadows, or how Kairos maintains a hold on him, those who anger the Archon never live long past sunset. Okay, so he's Kairos' assassin, and he reports to my boss. Got it.
Fatebinder, we will start with the matter of the Archons. Graven Ash and the Voices of Nerat have declared war upon each other.
Oh.
In addition to violating Kairos' peace, they have thrown the conquest of the Tears into disarray. By all accounts, these hostilities began shortly after your arrival. Tell us what transpired.
Yep. Believe it or not, boss, I had nothing to do with it. Mostly. Could not agree on who should lead the siege. The Archons have been of different minds since the start of this war. That's probably more true than this. I mean, this is true, but there was a disagreement when I walked in the tent. Yeah. The Archons have been of different... Why would I lie? That seems like a very easy thing to prove I'm lying about, so no. The Archons have been of different minds since the start of this war.
Your perspective is appreciated, but the dispositions of the two Archons are already a matter of record. Loyal subjects of Kairos have drawn blood from each other.
This isn't a point, this is a this.
Crime. Something happened at Vendrian's Well to trigger this feud.
They could not agree on who should lead the siege. They descended into accusations of treachery. It seemed a mutual spat. Albatronus says, the disfavored were more deserving of the honor. Our tactics and Ooh, she's pointing now. Bam! How dare you point in the Adjudicator's presence? Our tactics and trainings outmatched the Vendrian Guard at every turn. Bloodmulch says, what balderdash! The disfavored couldn't tip over a straw hut if they had a week to strategize. Our howling mob was better equipped to overwhelm the Vendrian Guard. Our recruits were ready to throw themselves at the enemy, if only Ash and his legion would agree to a plan.
The Fatebinder presents testimony. I warn you both against speaking out of turn. Something more than a mere disagreement unraveled this campaign. But I will return to that in time.
Okay, what else you got?
Let us speak of Ascension Hall.
Ah.
The disfavored sing your praises across the realm, though the Scarlet Chorus appealed for charges of treason. Perhaps you can offer a more enlightened account.
Treason? I mean, I get it, I didn't side with them, but that's crazy. Archon Air, where Nicolas Cage is looking for films. Did anybody else hear that he's been cast to play the crazy dude in Tiger King? Was that just a thing on Twitter? Maybe that's not true, but it's like, what the hell? I haven't seen it, so don't let me say something that I'm not qualified to comment on, but I generally don't like when they make shows or movies that are about... This is going to be kind of a weird way to say it. About people that are either poor or vulnerable or maybe like mentally ill. Like, I just don't like when they exploit those people and then like everybody that watches it go, damn, these people are fucked up. Like, Tiger King is all about quote unquote rednecks, right? It just seems shitty to me that they take people like... I'm not blaming the people that are the subjects of those kinds of stories. I'm blaming the people who make those kinds of media. Because it just seems exploitative of people who aren't at their... who are already vulnerable and open to exploitation. I don't know. I don't know. I mean... He seems like a dick and a criminal, I suppose. He also seems like a dude who's got mental illness issues. Yeah. I get it, it's an interesting... Like, okay. Here's the thing that I don't like. There's a show in the United States, or at least there was, I'm assuming it's still on the air, on Fox, and it's called Cops. And all it is a camera crew follows a police officer, or several police officers around in their police cruiser. and they film all police interactions with whatever citizens or criminals they happen to interact with. And then, of course, they edit it so that only the most interesting bits end up in the show, and the people that are involved in the show that aren't police have to sign a waiver. So sometimes their voices, or their faces are blurred out. Sometimes they're not. Depends on whether or not they sign the waiver. But it always bothered me when I would see that show, because it's like, damn, these people, like, usually it's people who are drunk or high or poor and committing a crime or mentally disturbed. And it's like, why the fuck are we showing these people on TV when they're at their worst? When the cops have to, like, intervene to keep them from killing themselves or somebody else, or keep them from committing a crime. It just seemed really awful. And I felt that way when I saw it myself for the first time, and I felt that way especially after I watched it with one of my roommates, and he was just laughing his ass off. He's like, man, these fucking people are so stupid. It's like, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I grew up around people that were like that. My neighborhood was pretty low income, and there were a lot of what other people would call white trash people around. It just seemed shitty to, like, see that kind of person being treated that way for somebody else's entertainment. It seems shitty. I don't know. That's my unqualified opinion. Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I'll take your word for it, Kira. But I suppose if you sign your name on the dotted line and you get money for your appearance, maybe that's your choice, I guess. Perhaps you can offer a more enlightened account. I took the Citadel with my own cunning, employing a small group to serve it as a distraction. I mean, given how much ass I had to kick, that's kind of true. But not really. I claimed a Citadel with a small unit of disfavored. Let's be diplomatic.
An efficient solution. The type I would expect from a capable agent. Tell me, though, with the edict looming overhead and death the price of failure, why not employ the numerical advantage of the Scarlet Chorus?
Because he sucked. Yeah. The voices are not provoked Ash at every turn. I suspected treachery. That's exactly how I felt about it. Well, that's good, Kira. I have not heard that about it. I know that he was served or is serving time in jail. Not sure. Oh, you're not talking necessarily about the main character. You're talking about another person on the show. Okay. Got it. For a long while, the adjudicator hovers in silence, shadows trailing from below his robes.
I will consider this testimony at length. The court thanks you for it. Is there anything you wish to add at this time?
I have told you all that the game will allow me to tell you at the moment.
Your testimony
Thanks, Skater.
is accepted by the court.
Good
The statements
rant.
of our guests raise questions in my mind. There is much about this campaign that has caused me to wonder.
Really? Wonder, who
A shipment of iron weapons
who
was
wrote the
short
book
on
of
arrival.
love?
Where coveted iron is concerned, I don't believe it to be a clerical error.
Oh,
One of my
really?
agents recovered this seal in Echo Call. It belongs to a merchant collective.
That's good, Kira.
Lethian's Crossing is teeming with their kind. If you would root out treachery, I would advise starting there.
Oh, okay. Given that I need to go to Lethian's Crossing for the Spire, which I'm not saying to him, I'm keeping that to myself. I'm glad that I came here first.
Petitioners, leave us.
Ooh, he turned his back.
I would have a private audience with the Fatebinder.
Good evening,
Ascend
2155.
and join
How are you?
You will find the way opened.
Ascend and join me. He just smoke bombed out of there. Gotta respect a man like that. That's great. Ascend and join me. And then like he's hiding behind the curtains. Oh, was it as awesome as I think it was? Yep, look, they don't even know where I am. Woohoo, it worked. That's funny. Oh, I hope those Scarlet Chorus jerks get what's coming to them. Well, I really just more so hope that Voices of Narot get what's coming to them. Maybe the Scarlet Chorus would join me. That'd be great. I'm sure there is, Walter. There's a King of the Hill episode where Dale is under attack for whatever reason, or he's trying to avoid a situation. I forget which one, and he goes, Pocket sand! And he pulls a bunch of sand out of his pocket and throws it at a dude's eyes. I don't know. It's not the same as a smoke bomb. Yeah, Kira knows what I'm talking about. Pocket sand! Let's see what the Fatebinders have to say. Fatebinder Nunaval. Tunon favor 1. Apparently I know their relations with Tunon. That's good. Yeah, Mike Judge is great. King of the Hill is a very good show. And it holds up pretty well, too. There's some, like, you know, like Hank Hill's a little, you know, gay-phobic. Maybe not phobic, just kind of like, oh, that boy ain't right. You know, that kind of thing. But otherwise, it holds up pretty well. Yeah. Rusty. And maybe, like, John Redcorn's portrayal wouldn't be so cool these days, but it's based on a small town you've been through called Belton, huh? Yeah. Yeah, my understanding, I know very little of Texas. I've only been through it once, and that was just driving. We didn't stay anywhere, but my understanding is that Texas is like 5 or 6 small states all in one. Like East Texas is way different than the Panhandle, and the border area is way different than, you know, the coast and that kind of thing. Anyway, Fatebinder Nunaval says, Violin the Fourth. He probably whispers what a ridiculous name to himself. You return unscathed and more acclaimed than ever, as seems to be your way. Fatebinder of War, clap. Ooh, cool, a Fatebinder of War, yeah. I like this guy, just because of his title. Claps you good-naturedly and with excessive strength on the back. Come, you must regale me with all that your journey has held. I could use a moment of respite between friends. He regards you with a warm, boisterous smile. How can a smile be boisterous? Unless you were like, oh! That perhaps would be a boisterous smile. He continues, speak as you wish. I'd pay a boar's weight in rings to know your thoughts. He rakes a hand through his thick red beard and offers you a grin. I think he's coming on to me. Come, let us speak freely. I imagine he will do a... Oh, Rocksteady's still here. I imagine he'll do a movie of some kind. He did a small movie called Extract that my wife and I watched that starred Jason Bateman and Kristen Wiig and a few other people. Mila Kunis, maybe? And it was fine. It had funny parts, but it wasn't... I didn't love it the way that I loved, like, Idiocracy or Office Space or King of the Hill or Jackass. Well, he didn't do Jackass, did he? He made guest appearances in Jackass. Or Silicon Valley, even. I watched, like, the first 4 seasons of Silicon Valley and enjoyed them a lot. I think I stopped watching after that and never picked it back up, though. Let us speak freely, says Nunaval. How were you singled out to become a Fatebinder? I cannot speak for the other Fatebinders, but I joined the court when I was yet still a boy and impetuous beyond reason. I had been imprisoned with a death sentence for the crime of desecrating corpses. This is a real winner's group this Kairos puts together. He laughs hard and hearty. It was nothing so exciting as you're no doubt imagining. I was merely burning corpses that awaited burial. Before the local authority could see me to the gallows, the adjudicator claimed me a great talent waiting to be realized, needing only to be steered. Why were you burning bodies? Corpses piling in the streets spread plague faster than the filthiest of rats. I was but 10 and a weak fighter. I did what I could for my homeland. And why was this a crime? There was a time when even the Northmen were of superstitious stock, a time before Kairos brought reason to the realms. The people of my city believed that without proper rites, I was cheating our fallen warriors from returning to the land. Alright, I can see that. Smelling like rotten corpse. That's right. If we're going to win this war, we need to not smell like rotten corpses. It's a good thing Tunon spared you. Yeah, I suppose. As I have said, the adjudicator saw within me something of rare value, as is true for us all. You as well were chosen for our great court, for which I am grateful. As the Fatebinder of War, I rely heavily on your talents. Oh, I guess I'm the Fatebinder of diplomacy? I have a history as a diplomat, so anyway. Pick my mind with enthusiasm. Tunon's masks. Can you remind me of the history and origin of the Fatebinders? I've claimed the spire at Vendrian's Well. That seems the most pertinent. So, the court's whispers are true. The Fatebinder rubs his fingers along the underside of his chin, pondering his thoughts with great weight. After a moment, he offers you a wistful sort of smile. Someday I would like to witness for myself this tower that has risen above the realms like a blade thrust into the sky. I imagine this guy talks like, how Thor talked in the old TV Incredible Hulk movies. This is going way back. To a thing that most is pretty obscure. Maybe not not super obscure, but it was on in the 80s. There were Incredible Hulk TV movies, maybe, or maybe it was a TV show. I forget. Lou Ferrigno played the Hulk when he was the Hulk, and there was a small white actor that played him when he was just Dr. Banner. But then there were times where Thor would show up, and Thor talked not like he's just deodorant as an FYI. Thanks, Rocksteady. Thor talked not like how Chris Hemsworth plays him in the movies, but he talked very well met, mortal. Let us have a flagon of ale. He talked like that. That's kind of how I'm imagining this guy talks. Right. Tell me more about Wait, did I read all this? Yes, I did. Tell me more about Kairos' armies, our allies. Yes, with friends like these, our work is often self-explanatory. Were you asking about the Scarlet Chorus or the Disfavored? Let's start with the Scarlet Chorus and then go to the Disfavored. Scarlet Chorus soldiers hail from every corner of every realm. As the chorus marches, it conscripts indiscriminately from those it has conquered to replenish its ranks. There is no continuity of command in the chorus. Nerot encourages even, the strong to challenge their leaders. But the chorus has numbers and brute force. And brute force is almost always a viable solution, much as Rogalis insists otherwise. Besides, the Scarlet Chorus draws strength from the multitude it swallows. Its blood chanters have taken knowledge from the various Tears mystics, speaking of, Ebb right here, and many of the chorus's best soldiers were grown here in the south. The Disfavored, then? The Disfavored are the iron tip of Kairos' great phalanx. Armed with the best weapons and the most comprehensive training, and led by the brilliant Graven Ash, the Disfavored have no equals in open battle. The Legion has a saying, Graven Ash protects, and it's no empty boast. The Archon of War is able to lend his will and strength to his soldiers and give them endurance beyond human limits. I have great respect for the Disfavored, but I know where I stand with them. They are a very close-knit band, all of them from northern families, many of them related to each other. Unival smiles, his smile wistful. But considering our role in the great hierarchy, I can't fault General Ash for being selective. Past victories. Let's ask him to indulge us. Bill Bixby. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it. Yep. I recognize the name. I would not have been able to think of it on my own, but I think you're correct. Nunaval says, have you not yet tired of my tales, Violin the Fourth? I do admit I never tire of telling them. He laughs, hearty and deep. Very well, then, let me champion the feats of my conquest. Let the glory of Kairos' reign fall on any ears that would hear of it. Everybody else, trickles out of the room. We've heard enough. He continues. While they may not rival one's glorious feats in battle, I take pride in the small dispenses of justice I manage between my weekly drills and lectures. Just the other day I pulled the teeth of a liar and strung them about his neck so that he might consider his words with more care in the future. That's a hell of a punishment. I'm not advocating it, but I'm thinking if I looked down and saw a necklace of my own teeth, I would probably be very, very careful about lying going forward. Let's talk history and origin of the Fatebinders, please. The seasoned warrior rubs a finger against the line of stubble along his cheek. We are a relatively young order, though we have spanned these past 2 centuries. While the voices of Nerat and Graven Ash need armies to execute their will, Tunon wields but a modest court of vassals. We exist as the extension of his law. There is no place in all of Tyratus beyond our judgment. And Tunon's masks? Yes. Yeah, well, I feel like the hand cutting off thing, that's a bit excessive, you know? I don't want to go all Hammurabi on someone. Missing teeth, though. Not just missing the teeth, but then seeing them every day. Like, seeing them around your neck, being like, oof, right. Damn. That would probably change my behavior. Tunon's masks, eh? They can be rather unsettling, can't they? Even to one such as me. But I can assure you, the innocent need not fear their objective, emotionless gaze. Ah, the innocent have nothing to fear routine. What of the Adjudicator's masks specifically would you like to know? Oh, he wears different masks. I didn't realize that. Okay. Have you ever seen him change his masks? In the way that you or I would change our raiment? No, not as such. And yet I have seen the masks shift. They switch without the Adjudicator or anyone so much as laying a hand on them. It's not something you can watch unfold. After a time, you merely realize it has already happened. He continues, there is work enough for the court that we shouldn't occupy ourselves wondering over mysteries. Okay, Silent Face. The Silent Face is the face that Tunon shows to us now, and for that we are fortunate beyond belief. The Silent Face is a patient face, a face for listening as Tunon presides over all matters brought to the court, taking great pains to ensure all sides of an issue are heard. The Face of Resolve? Tunon's last known donning of the Face of Resolve was the moment he judged and called ruin to half the districts in the Bastard City. Since then, that would be what Lucretia was talking about, I presume. Since then, he has ruled our northern tier justly, calmly, and with efficient diplomacy. And the Face that is no more? Tunon is said to have worn a third mask in eons past. I have heard rumor that the Face displeased Kairos and was thus destroyed, as happens to all persons and objects that displease our overlord. Jeez, is every one of these guys going to have as much to say? Fatebinder Kaleo says, Violin the Fourth, I see you've returned to the fold. Your exploits in Vendrian's Well are the matter of some discussion. The Fatebinder of Balance regards you with a discerning eye, and for a moment you feel as if she is trying to peer into the very depths of your mind. What can I do for you? Kaleo touches a gentle hand to your soldier. Has anything happened while I was away, Kaleo? After you dispatched Cairn by burying him in stone, I was charged with investigating the circumstances that led to his betrayal. The Archon has ignored Graven Ash's orders and turned his back on Kairos for his own... The Archon this is Cairn, had ignored Graven Ash's orders and turned his back on Kairos for his own selfish pursuits. Rogalis wanted to take charge of the investigation, but I feared that whatever seduced Cairn away from his senses in Azure might corrupt our Rogalis as well. So I took the task upon myself instead. Seem to be no much of my actions. Have you been spying on me? Would we have reason to think that she has? We haven't detected that yet, I don't think. How have you occupied your time in the Bastard City? She says, Tunon sends me on assignments here and there. I settle disputes between the locals when the Adjudicator is otherwise occupied. She smirks. Everything from trade disagreements to pushing chorus squatters out of basements. Real rewarding work. She waves it off. The glory of war is not an honor reserved for the likes of us. We're the fish swimming in Tunon's wake, picking up scraps along the way. We're rather large and imposing compared to the bottom feeders of the tiers, but fish all the same. I have some concerns about the war. You are free to share them in my confidence. She leans in closer. Yeah, I don't think I want to say any of this. I don't know her well enough to be this forthcoming. I'd like to know more about Tunon. Tunon is our overlord's fair and exacting adjudicator. He speaks with the voice of Kairos' law, and his word is judgment. All of this and more you can learn by asking him yourself. Go on. Or does he intimidate you still? She chuckles softly. I jest, of course. I'm not going to ask this whole spying thing, because I don't know why I would. I have no reason to think currently that she's spying on me. So farewell. Kaleo. Rogalis. Fatebinder Rogalis says, Fatebinder, you return. Rogalis looks you up and down with an inscrutable expression. You look as if you have questions for me to untangle. Ask. I am feeling generous. What do you think of the other Fatebinders? Don't need to be more specific than that, I'm afraid. There is, on last count, slightly more than a handful of us. Okay. Fatebinder of War. Nunaval's keen, brash, and a hardy braggart with a fondness for bloodshed. He can be utterly unbearable at times. His justice is fair, even if he skews toward rather exacting and uncompromising punishments at times. Balance. Kaleo is the finest among us. Her discernment is beyond reproach. She is perhaps Tunan's favorite. She has a mind for suspicion and observation that make others uneasy. We who operate within the confines of the law have nothing to fear, of course. And me? You follow an orderly path, regimented and organized, perhaps too orderly for our station, but that is neither here nor there if you execute your job with wisdom. Be sure you don't stray to the path of chaos. Down that way lies rebellion. Something else. The sages? Sure. I will not speak of the sages. They are no better than charlatans and cons, wholly selfish in their ill pursuit to hoard all knowledge from others. They are self-blinded by their own deceptions and clever manipulations. They alone cause their own undoing and are solely to blame for the burning library. Yes, I remember this from the original character setup, I think. Previously known as the Vellum Citadel, the archive and ancestral home of the sages is now the site of a volcanic crater. Yep, remember that. One of the most grievous of all of wrongs in the known histories for which they could never be forgiven. The old walls and the Bane? I don't even know what that is. With which should I start? How about the old walls? We know little enough about the ancient... the old walls being things that connect all the spires, I think. We know little enough about the ancient structures, save that they predate all historical record. The forbidding ruins crisscrossed the tiers and north alike, centuries before we raised our cities. The only one old enough to guess is likely Kairos. Tell me about the Bane. The Bane are found in the old walls, but much of their defining qualities still escape me. They are creatures of smoke, claw, and fang. Ooh. If you find yourself unfortunate enough to fight one, remember that spells are effective against them, but grab the attention of others lurking near. Let's see. Something else. The Tiers? The political entities of the Tiers are essentially split between the Bastard Tier, the Younger Realms, and the Free Cities. Of which would you like to know more? Bastard Tier. The Bastard Tier is the most northern of the tiers and was the first to bow to Kairos' reign, though the knee they bent fell unwillingly. Kairos had his eye on the Bastard Tier for many years before he marched on her capital city. This is the hub of trade and commerce. Claim the markets and the people will follow. The Younger Realms? The Younger Realms sprawl the middle and southernmost tiers and can be catalogued as follows. Apex, Azure, Haven, and Stalwart. Azure was renowned for its exceptionally fertile land, which fed the whole of the tiers. That was before Kairos' Edict of Stone blighted the land. This is all very involved, man. Stalwart is also worth mention, for it comprises the whole of the southernmost tier, proves the toughest and most defensible of the realms. It is often said that the other realms will not fall while Stalwart yet stands. The local army wages bitter war against the disfavored, though the Edict of Storms has cut off the best of their defenses. It's only a matter of time before Stalwart falls. The Free Cities. There are 3 free cities remaining. Last Harbor, Spiral's Maw, and Barris in Chains. The first and strongest of the free cities was the Setting Sun, which Kairos crushed in 429 with the Edict of Tumult. After that, the remaining free cities were quick to surrender. I don't know if I care about this. Past Archons, I guess, would be interesting. Mortimus of the Mire, the Archon of Fungus. Okay, sure. That's a hell of a superpower. Produced most of the flora in the swampland of Nettlebog. A stooped hermit who rather resembled a dapperling. He was never once reported to have left his swamp. Some believe he still lives within the land, though there's been no sighting of him in nearly 300 years. That's the only other Archon you're going to tell me about. Alright, fine. Where did you study when you were younger? I've been a ward of the court for as long as I've been aware. As a child, I demonstrated wholly perfect recall, and I absorbed all that none of my tutors had to offer. I remember hating all the lectures and wishing I could learn at my pace. Funny how I envied the sages of the tiers, how they could spend their whole lives reading and never exhaust their library. Of course, now the Vellum Citadel is nothing but more than a burning waste. Farewell, Fatebinder Rogalis. Whew, okay, that was quite an exposition right there.
I'll stay downwind of our enemies.
No, don't. Oh, downwind, yes, okay, fine. Ooh. Any petitioners that displeased Tunon would meet their fate in the pits below the court. Damn. That's some hardcore shit. How do I get up there? That's where I need to go to talk to him. Let me just click on him and we'll get there. Oh. Alright, I didn't even notice that. Lots of dialogue, no kidding. I like that we split up. Good tactics there.
This civil war, this feud, is an insult to Kairos' peace. It should not have taken the better part of a year to silence the last vestiges of the Oathbreakers.
Tunon regards you in thoughtful silence. Oh, I agree, Your Honor.
Our allies squabble while our enemies regroup. It falls upon the court to measure the extent of the damage and to execute the agents of disorder. I suspect that treachery, negligence, disunity, and greed have infected one or both of our esteemed allies. Until you are instructed otherwise, this matter is the court's primary focus.
She is getting very familiar. Yeah, I totally agree, Chatham. I would rather have more world building than less. It is a bit different, though, when I am playing on my own and I get to sit down and, actually, read everything versus when I'm trying to read it out loud while streaming. Just parches me, it kind of wears me down a little bit. Yeah, but yeah, when I'm playing for myself, I always enjoy reading shit. I like reading the books in the Elder Scrolls games. I like checking out all the dialogue trees and try to figure out who knows what and what they can share and what it all means. Codexes and all kinds of stuff like that. Encyclopedias. He's going to continue.
Graven Ash and the voices of Nerat must be examined in close detail. You are charged with observing the Archons and presenting your case that one of them has wrought chaos and disorder upon the tiers.
Observing them, huh? Could they both be guilty?
It's possible, but the momentum of the conquest up to this point suggests otherwise. The failure at Vendrian's Well implies a coordinated will behind the chaos. As always, you will be held accountable for what you do in the court's name, but you are free to conduct your investigation in the manner of your choosing.
Yes.
You must expect lies, misdirection, and manipulation. Suffer not such obstructions of justice.
Agree, Tanim. I am also a lore fiend. Free to conduct the investigation in the manner of your choosing. All right.
The disfavored seem the logical first step in your inquiry. The Legion holds you in some esteem, and Graven Ash has shown deference to the court in times past. No doubt the disfavored will be rife with accusations and evidence against the voices of Nerat. Graven Ash is a noble man, but never underestimate his capacity for deception. A wise general succeeds by knowing when to be unreadable to the enemy.
Okay.
You should, of course, speak with the Scarlet Chorus and gather their testimony. But it stands to reason that most in the chorus would sooner brag about a pauldron fashioned from your skull than entertain your questions. Do not regret killing the rabble that impede your investigation. They will be easily replaced.
No problem, sir. I'll speak with the Archon of War. That's where the boss told me to start. That's who I'll start with.
Your fellow Fatebinders have been busy acting as my eyes and ears. I have a few leads for you to follow. You should, of course, speak with your brothers and sisters of the court if you need further counsel.
Crap. Do I need to do that again?
The Scarlet Chorus leader in Plainsgate is set on taking the Disfavored's holdings with lethal force. Rumors of aggressive chorus posturing are commonplace, but if you are in the Stone Sea, it would be wise to investigate.
Okay.
The Oathbreakers were reported to be using iron armaments, more than they might acquire from looting what few disfavored they killed. Any iron in the tiers not rusted through was made by forge-bound hands in Lethian's Crossing. Between craftsman and quartermaster, someone let iron fall into enemy hands. Investigate this matter and bring the thieves to justice. There is a final matter to discuss.
God, another one?
A sensitive topic.
Though it's impossible to gauge from his expression, Tunon seems more wary than usual. What concerns the court, Your Honor?
In spite of the many shortcomings at Vendrian's Well, you managed to make a name for yourself. You proclaimed an Edict of Kairos, resolved its demanding conditions, and ascended the mountain spire.
Yeah, I was trying to keep that in my back pocket. I hoped he wouldn't mention that, but okay.
Any one of these feats would be worthy of recognition by the highest authority. You managed to accomplish 3.
I'll deny I'll deny my what's the word? Deny my own role, and I'll just say, oh, I was just doing my job, sir. Everybody else helped out too.
Your sense of obligation to your role is admirable, but modesty will not recommend you to the task ahead.
Okay.
Whether by design or by accident, you have captured the attention of Kairos' army and the local tiersmen alike. This is no small opportunity, and the court charges you with exploiting your new standing to its fullest potential.
Okay.
You have a title in our hierarchy. However, it's a little-known secret that one's standing in the world is determined by their infamy, their deeds, and how they come to be known. Mind this notion as you bring justice to this lawless frontier. There may come a time when your deeds speak for you louder than any title.
Oh, I'm counting on it.
If your killing spree in the bastard city is any indication, you are no stranger to spreading infamy already.
What? Who did I kill in the bastard city? Oh, from back in the character setup days. Okay, right. Yeah, during the war. Okay, yes, thank you, Tim. I was like, wait a minute, I just got to the bastard city. Who did I kill? Okay.
Whatever you did to capture the attention of the masses at Vendrian's Well, I would encourage you to do so again.
Great deeds will define me, sir.
You begin to understand. Whether your acts are favorable or heinous, it falls to you to bring greatness to this campaign. You are dismissed. Should the court have need of your presence, you will receive word. Go forth and do my bidding, and bring glory and honor to the tiers in Kairos' name.
Yes! Tunon raps his gavel against the floor. The singular note resounding throughout. That was his gavel? Jesus, that scared the hell out of me. Ooh! Thanks, Tunon, we leveled. Courtesy of talking to you, I guess. Tunon is displeased with the chaos that emerged from Vendrian's Well and believes that one of the warring Archons may be principally responsible for the civil war that now grips the tiers. As you travel to younger realms, take note of any evidence of negligence, incompetence, or outright treason found within the Disfavored or Scarlet Chorus. All uncovered evidence will be listed here. The Disfavored were ineffectual at getting Cairn, the Archon of Stone, to follow orders. All uncovered evidence. Okay, so we've uncovered 1 for Graven Ash, none for the Voices of Nerot. Into the Maelstrom! The War of the Archons has begun. Support Graven Ash's initial attempts to pacify the tiers. Meet Graven Ash at Iron Hearth. Disfavored General has regrouped his forces at the mountain fortress of Iron Hearth. Travel there to discuss the Archons' next move? Oh, crap. Yeah, we got to talk to him about Barrick. Stirring visions. Yeah, investigate the spires. Can I still do... Ah, fuck! He's gone! We didn't even get the option. Damn it. What does this do? Oh. Changes her armor? But their armor looks like mine, right? Why would I want to change it? Hang on. That one? That one. Eb, we're changing your outfit, baby. Yeah. Wait. You look exactly the same. Okay, fine. Maybe her outfit can't be changed. I don't know. Barrick, I don't think we can change yours, can we? No, can't. Okay, so Verse and I have leveled up. Let's take care of that. Let's do that. And... Gravedigger. Sweep at the target's feet, knocking them prone, then following downwards with strikes from each weapon. Ooh, I like that. Verse will counterattack enemies that miss her in melee combat. Verse must be wielding a melee weapon. Okay. Increases weapon damage while dual wielding. Verse swap position with an enemy and then stabs them with each of her weapons. Eesh. I like all of these. Pins the target's feet with an arrow. Okay, we've done hobble with my character before, so I'm not going to do that with her. Attacks me with bows, gain... Okay, she's not going to use bows too often. She uses it for the flame one. But otherwise, I think I'm going to keep her dual wielding and melee. Gravedigger, lethal opening. Let's do Gravedigger. That sounds pretty fun. And then for me... Oh, no worries, Walter. Thanks for sticking around. Oh my gosh, there's so much. There's too many trees here. Agility, range, magic, leadership, defense, power. Too much. Evasive. Weapon damage with bows and allows basic attacks and strikes. Penetrating shot. Charge up and launch a projectile with enough force to penetrate armor. Enemies in a line take damage and are left bleeding. Increases damage with thrown weapons and allows basic attacks to strike multiple times. Aura of Will that removes a harmful effect from you and an ally. Adds defensive bonus to you and nearby partners when the thrust ability is used. Will of Command. That could be useful, huh? Sweeping cone attack that hits multiple nearby enemies. Let's try that one. That sounds interesting. And, quickness or finesse? I'm gonna go with finesse. Okay. Wow. This whole episode has been nothing but...
You got it.
Looting and talking. Why is that orange? Yeah, you're right. That's how... Oh! Can I talk to him about Barrick? You returned. It's gratifying to see that the war has not caused you to forget your roots. What did we should know? I have a request from Barrick of the Stone Shields. What does Barrick of the Stone Shields want of the court? He has made his displeasure known in a loud enough voice to collapse the tiers upon each other. The adjudicator glares down at Barrick. He came to inquire if the forge-bound could help remove his armor. If he had become encased in iron, that is none of the court's concern. My forge-bound smiths are occupied crafting weapons for the army, and I would not have their focus diverted to liberate one soldier from his raiment. Stone Shield! Do the disfavored not have standards for the upkeep of arms and armor? Is this not one of your Archon's guiding principles? It is, Your Honor, says Barrick, but I found myself trapped in this junk pile after the Edict of Storms hit Stalwart. If you want to blame anyone, it should be Kairos. Blasphemy! The adjudicator contemplates the matter in total silence. The moment drags on far longer than you would suspect it warrants, but Tunan's interest does not abate for a moment. He says, the soldier will remain encased in his armor, eccentric though it may be, and all subjects of Kairos are forbidden to aid in its removal. Magic the likes of which none of us understand has touched the stone shield, and we will not interfere with the will of Kairos. But I'm trapped. Barrick trails off, looking to you for answers. Could you not reconsider? This is not going to get me very far, but let's do it anyway. I'm surprised and disappointed that you would even ask, says Tunan. Bam! Low point there. Whatever you are trying to prove to your travel companion, the court finds it festering with sympathy and a lack of precedent. Such is the will of Kairos, and the will of the court. Tunan nods and bangs his gavel. Ah, says Barrick, you tried, and I suppose that counts for something. The adjudicator didn't say anything about me bending my way out of here, at least. Not that trying has ever made it better. I don't want to ask these other things. I was seriously just here to talk to him about Barrick, so let's get out of here. Be on your way. No problem, sir. Our boss is a jerk. That's good. Yeah, that's good. That's good, Gator. You're right. Okay, so then the journal has new stuff for us, right? Discuss Barrick's predicament with him. Only the slightest nod of Barrick's domed helm offers any indication that the soldier noticed your approach. It shouldn't surprise you that Archon Tunan would not unmake what was wrought by the Overlord's wrath. Surprise? No. Disappoint? Yes, he says. The Archon's decision changes nothing. I have persevered to this point. I shall continue to do so, for the sake of General Ash and the North. There may be another way? Would there be another way? I have no idea. I don't think I would broach that, given that my boss just said, don't do it. Well, we tried. Verse says, do we actually give a shit what Tunan said? He's not the one who has to march next to this mobile midden heap. I say fuck it, let's find a way to pry Barrick out of this oversized chastity belt and then melt the damn thing into swords. Damn, Verse kicks ass. I love her. She's awesome. Barrick says, I appreciate your enthusiasm, Verse, but Tunan's word carries the authority of Kairos himself. It should neither be ignored nor skirted. Verse says, maybe we keep the armor then. Put some sheep's wool in there to pad it. Let you strap in when there's action to be had. Nobody has to know you've been freed. Barrick says, I'd know. My honor demands my compliance with the ruling. Alright, don't be such a square, Barrick. Come on. Your master was very specific in his sentence. He forbade not only assistance from the forge-bound, but from anyone, anywhere in the world. This a diplomat would notice. The Archon forbade any subject of Kairos to aid you. She would notice, would Violin, she would notice that kind of specific, yes. You split hairs, Binder. The whole of the world bends the knee to the Overlord. Well, if that were the case, we wouldn't be in the tiers, would we? You're not suggesting we ask some renegade mage for aid? Fear. He's afraid of me. Yeah, I think Verse is definitely she's a standard because I like her so much, and I think you're right. Barrack probably is. I'm guessing Barrack's the only true tank. I'm guessing we won't have another tank, and my character can't do it. So yeah, you would discard the spirit of the law in favor of its letter, Barrack. You naive, beautiful young child. This is fascism, man. The letter of the law is all that matters. Not to me, he says. The honor of a deed lies as much in its spirit as its action. Verse says, oh, you sweet, sad, silly little boy. That's what I just called him. I called him a child. Perhaps some other way to free you will present itself. Your optimism does you credit, Fatebinder, though I fear it's misapplied. Speak with the Forgebound, if only to know what our options are. I solemnly swear to you that I will not speak with the Forgebound about your armor. Happy, I would be lying. I oversaw Lithians crossing during the war. The Forgebound there know me. The Forgebound will be curious about you regardless. The articulation on your armor is incredible. At the very least, we should at least take a look at you. I think I'd do this one because I'm a diplomat, right? I would expect like, oh, look, I can pull in some favors. I know some people. Missed that kind of muscle. Well, I'm presuming if I could flip him out, I could just put him in other armor, right? Don't know. Knowing you and being willing to brave the Adjudicator's wrath for you are two wholly separate things. Barrack is a turkey. Barrack is a turkey. Let us leave, Fatebinder. I worry that my presence offends these nobles' precious sensibilities. He bows his head to you and moves away, trailing behind him the wafting reek of a fetid privy. Paints a picture. Or an odor, as it might be. Alright, I just want to talk to these guys one more time to make sure there's nothing new. He said they had leads, did Tunon. We speak again, so let us speak genuinely and at length with one another, says Nunaval. Now, of what matter would you have us discuss? Oh, nothing. Alright, I'm going to say that we're done then. Oh, take out of the party, yeah. I see what you're saying. I thought you meant flip him out of the armor. I was like, well, yeah, I could, but I just put him in new armor. Yes, I suppose I could. You're right. Bladen Mark. We've heard of him. Welcome back, kid. Amusing as it would have been to watch the edict drop, I guess I'm glad you lived. Bladen Mark, the Archon of Shadows, rouses from a faraway stare, turning to face you with a wry smile. Though he stands still, he seems to sift in and out of the shadows that shroud him. Gained favor, apparently. Here you threw your rings on Graven Ash's side. Not a bad bet to pick the Archon of War. But tell me the truth. Did you go with Ash because it seemed like the right thing to do? Or because supporting the voices was a worse option? Wry smile. Yes, it would. Yep. Totally agree, Tanem. I get a very Dragon Age Origins feeling from party composition here. Seriously, yeah, what sane creature... Archon of the Elderly, damn. What sane creature would trust the voices of Nerat? Fear with Verse and favor with Bladen Mark. Verse says, one does like to win a battle every once in a while. At least the voices of Nerat isn't consumed by grief or hesitation like some Archons I know. Don't mistake him, says Bladen Mark. The Archon of Secrets thrives on mistrust. When everyone believes you're lying, speaking the truth is a fine blade with which to cut your enemy. I don't know, man. If we've learned anything in the last 3 years, it's that lying all the time means nobody ever trusts you, whether you're speaking the truth or not. All that matters, continues Bledenmark, is that the Edict of Execution was stayed. Those stationed at Vendrian's Well should be thanking you for their lives. Now, I assume you're off to meet with Ash, but first, you and I need to have a little chat. Okay, I'm listening. He's pointing! Bam! Everyone's keeping an eye on you because you did something nobody has done before. Got a guess as to what that might be? Proclaim 2 edicts? Resolve an edict before its consequences came to pass? Awaken a spire. I think that's yeah. evasive stance against your rhetorical questions. First, Fatebinder Carbus decided to promote some position of authority. I'm going to say the Spire. Gain favor with Bled and Mark. You're not wrong. That was definitely a shock, but I doubt it's the sole reason you've made the tears tremble. Proclaiming an edict isn't new. Neither is surviving or resolving the commandments of an edict. But you're the first to proclaim and resolve the very same edict, and it didn't kill you. In one fell swoop, you survived your second edict, resolved the very one you had proclaimed, and woke an arcane structure that had slept for several centuries. Did I do something wrong? Calm down, kid. This isn't a list of charges. He thumbs the blade of a dagger and grins. Prosecution isn't part of my job description. Executing a judgment, well, that's another matter. I don't care what you do with the information, but you should know the danger you're in now that you've put yourself on the map. I like this guy. I thought I'd hate him because I figured he'd be sneaky and deceptive and a pain in the ass like Voices of Nerat, but he's refreshingly honest. Sticking with the disfavored is a smart idea, kid. At least smarter than getting mixed up with the Archon of Secrets. You'll never really be one of them, but if you value Ash's warriors, they'll serve you the best they can. Thanks for the advice. The Archon of Shadows shrugs to you in farewell, but his golden eyes are alight with interest as he watches you. Is there more I can talk to him about? Sole reason. How about a little breathing room? I'm smothering him. Okay. Well, you know what? It's the top of the hour. We're about to wrap up. But it looks like a few other things have opened up here. Iron Hearth. Maybe that's it, actually. Just one. Iron Hearth. And, of course, the Sunset Spire. So I think that's where we'll go next. I'll check the journal before we travel next time. Just to be sure. This is all supposed to be just on this little peninsula where the tiers are, right? This is not the whole of Tyranny, I believe. These are the walls. There's spires. And some weird, freaky things called Banes. Excuse me, that apparently live inside them. I've only ever played parts of Origin. I've never played the other two. Though I have watched all of Dragon Age Origins played via Let's Play. I think I watched Variax's Let's Play of it. Although Dave did an excellent one as well. I think I watched maybe about half of his, I think, before I moved on. And that was no slight against Dave. It's just because I had already watched it once with Variax. And I still wanted to play it myself, too. Yeah, okay. I guess I can't really save it here on the map. So let's just stick around here in the Adjudicator's Hall. And, oh, wait, what? Right. This has changed a bit, I suppose. Hang around here in the Adjudicator's Hall till next time. Why does this not... Oh, here we go, verse, yeah. Fury's Rage. Ooh, I got a new one. Death from Above we had. This one's unlocked now. Project intense flames toward Verse, which she catches on her blades and spins into an aura of wreathing flames around her. Nearby foes take burn damage from the flames while they last. Wow, she's a firebender. That's cool. Ebb totally fears me. Okay. Yeah, so... Huh? Oh, I could talk to Sevius, and also, presumably, Bitter Quip and all of them. Ah, let's do that. I didn't think to do that. We'll do that next time, though, because we're wrapping it up here. So, hey, gang, thanks for everybody for hanging out with me this evening in the chat, and anybody who's catching up on YouTube, thanks for doing so. It's been tons of fun. As I mentioned at the outset, for those of you who weren't here at the beginning, next week, I won't be streaming on Thursday because the crazy work schedule's coming back. I will instead be streaming on Friday night, but we'll do it at the exact same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll stream for, who knows, maybe more than 3 hours. I don't know. It'll be a Friday night, so I can stay up as late as I want. But until then, guys, have a good time, a good week. Hope everyone stays healthy, stay sane, and I will see you next time.